Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today is our final Sussex style video of 2023. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at my favorite 5 moments from Meghan's fashion this year. But I wanted to make it a little bit creative. So I decided to look for the 5 most out-of-the-box looks that she debuted this year. We've kind of gotten used to her style. We kind of know what to expect from Meghan. And although she surprises us from time to time, we have an idea of what's in her wheelhouse. But this year, she really stepped out of the box. She tried new things. And as Vogue likes to point out, she bared her shoulders. So we're going to take a look at 5 creative looks from Meghan this year, or 5 looks that didn't really get the attention they deserved at the time, whether that be because we had a lot of other things to talk about, or she was just debuting look after look after look, and we really didn't get time to marinate. Today, we are going to marinate on 5 looks that were creative or out of the box for Meghan from 2023. So let's get started. Once again, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so excited to have our final Sussex style video of 2023. And this list was a lot of fun to make. Now, it took me a while because we had so many looks. Now, this year was an Invictus Games year, so I had a ton of looks to pick out. And we had her Miss Foundation Awards look. We had so many red carpet looks and event looks and engagement looks that I was doing this for a while. So I decided to narrow it down to the 5 out of the box and creative looks from Meghan this year. And I'm starting with one that was really creative, very out of the box for her, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it a lot because so much was going on around that time. So before I get to my first look, I just want to say that this is the last Sussex style video of the year. And since tomorrow is New Year's Eve, the Fisher House Foundation fundraiser will be ending tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So that means we only have 2 days, if you're watching it on the day that this debuts, to donate to Fisher House Foundation. So I'm going to ask that you direct your attention to the donation button at the bottom of the screen or the care button in the corner of the live chat if you would like to donate to Fisher House Foundation to help our service members, veterans, and their families. And while you do that, let's get to my first look. Starting off this list, Meghan stunned in a Cult Gaia sea moss dress. She wore this to the Invictus Games closing ceremony in Dusseldorf this year. Now this dress, like I said, is Cult Gaia. It's the Raylene gown and the color is in sea moss. The piece came in a typical bandeau style and was sans lace detail. The floral cutouts came towards the bottom half of the piece, where there were a few open slits that exposed skin underneath. Despite the skin-bearing details, the dress still maintained its business-appropriate quality without veering into something too sultry for a duchess. Now the shoes are Aquazzura Purist 105 pumps and the color was nude, and she even wore the Kamai semi-hoop earrings with diamonds and gold. Her bracelet is, of course, the Cartier Love Blade bracelet. She wore her hair middle part, pulled back into a low bun. Although the majority of this video is dedicated to Meghan's style, I would be remiss not to mention Prince Harry's amazing black monochromatic fit. Y'all know how I feel about black monochromatic suits. I really like the suit, the shirt, the shoes, the haircut, everything. He was looking moisturized, happy, and free. Together, they made the perfect couple. They both look excellent. And that is why we are starting off this list of our 5 favorite fashion moments of 2023 with this amazing look. I'm pretty sure when you saw that this was a Sussex style video today, you knew this look would be on it. Now, this is also a really epic look for both of them. Y'all know I'm a sucker for monochromatic, especially black monochromatic. It's just something that I find to be so dashing on men, but I love this sea moss dress from Meghan. Now, something that we've talked about before is green is Meghan's color. She often wears green when she's having a rebirth moment, and we talked about this a lot before, but this sea moss with the cutouts, perfection. But I wanted to talk about this as well because this also served as the photo for their virtual Christmas card this year, and it's the header on their Archwell Foundation website. So it's clear that they are very keen on this look as well. I also wanted to start with this because it was a very celebratory moment. The closing ceremony of the Invictus Games was the closing moment of a very successful event. It takes so long to plan those games. There's so many people there. There's such positive energy, so much fun, and so much to be celebrated that I wanted to start off on a really, really high note. This moment marked 2023 in a nutshell for the both of them. They had win after win after win this year. They started projects, I mean, particularly the Welcome Project. I'm so excited to see where that goes. We looked at their Archwell Foundation Impact Report, and we talked about all the amazing things that they not only accomplished this year, but initiatives that they started and that are currently growing across the United States. So I felt like this dress, this suit, this moment really identified 2023 for them, and it was only right to start off the list with this outfit. Now, just because we started this list on a very formal note doesn't mean we have to stay there. I would say this next entry is one of my favorite casual looks from Meghan ever. And while some feel like this look was an homage, I feel it was actually a celebration of some of the things that she's done in the past and a big hint as to what we can expect from her and Harry in the future. And of course, I'm talking about the infamous Letterman that Meghan wore to the Marcy Lab School in Brooklyn this year. Coming in at the number 2 spot, Meghan transforms a Letterman into high-end glamour. Now, this was a really cool moment and one of the moments that stuck out to me this year, not just because they paid a visit to the Marcy Lab and we got an opportunity to really talk about that and go in depth into the great work that the Marcy Lab does, but because this is not your standard royal wear. Now, a lot of people felt like it was an homage to Princess Diana, who has worn a Letterman before, and it could serve as that, but it was actually Meghan wearing a gift that was gifted to her from the Robert Clack School's debate team, and that happened in March of 2020 when she visited ahead of International Women's Day. Completing the look, Meghan wore a black blouse, black frame lehigh crop skinny jeans, and black Jennifer Shamonda Lorenzo pumps. Now, the Letterman itself is a navy blue and white varsity Letterman jacket. Once again, this was gifted to her from the Robert Clack School's debate team, so it's their Letterman. However, there are websites and companies actually making replicas of this Letterman jacket, so it's pretty epic at this point. Anyway, this was such an unusual but such a really cute outfit that I had to talk about it, and it was definitely one of my favorite style moments of 2023. What did you think of the Letterman jacket? Now, I'm going to ask a question. How many of you lettered in school, whether that's high school, and I don't know if you letter in college. Can you letter in college? I never saw Letterman in college. I think that's just a high school thing. But how many of you lettered? I have two Lettermans. I have one from band and one from cheerleading. That just tells you a lot about my personality, doesn't it? I have a Letterman from band and one from cheerleading, and I never wear them. And I'm going to be honest, even if I did, I would probably look like one of those big puffer jackets. The sleeves would be too big and puffy. I would probably be swallowed up whole. I looked at Meghan in this Letterman and I said, ma'am, how did you make a Letterman jacket? Something that most people discard their freshman year of college and they're like, I can't believe I wore that. How did you make that look high end, high fashion? How did you make that Letterman look chic? Now I'm like, maybe I didn't give it a chance. Like, I need to go dig mine out and try to make it cool again. Meghan is obviously blazing a trail, but she looked fantastic in this Letterman. Not only did the Letterman look great in the way she styled it, really looked good, but it was the thought behind it. How are you taking this into a new venture and paying homage to an engagement that you had before while also channeling the spirit of your mother-in-law? This was a really great moment for both of them. Their engagement at the Marcy Lab School was something we really had a good time talking about, and we really learned a lot. I did an entire video segment on what the Marcy Lab School is, what they do, and how many people they've reached. Their growth has been insane. So if you haven't seen it yet, feel free to go back and check out that video. Really went in depth as to the behind the scenes of the Marcy Lab School and the creators and the founders. So feel free to check out that video. But this moment was one of my favorites because one, it's just really a great outfit. I mean, it's a really great casual outfit. She looked fantastic and everyone did a double take like, wow, You really made a Letterman look high end. This moment was also really great because a lot of people can't serve up a casual look this well. From the makeup, the hair, to the Mary Jane shoes, all of it was really cute. And I don't know if this was intentional, but the fact that she wore Mary Janes took me back to like the old days when little girls would wear those Mary Jane straps with the flat, or maybe like the half-inch heel to the little red schoolhouse. That's immediately what I thought. Or a lot of people who wear uniforms to school wear Mary Janes. When I wore a uniform to academy, I used to wear Mary Janes. So I thought this was a really great way to channel the school spirit in a very adult and high fashion way. All in all, it was just a very creative look, and I really enjoyed this look. As for this next look, since we are talking about style, you knew this look would end up on this list. Herringbone Carolina Herrera cape coat. Meghan looked fantastic. I thought this was such a creative look. It was so different. And when you saw her in the setting, you could tell that it was appropriate for the weather, but it was such a standout moment. She truly stood out from the rest of the crowd while still being in theme and appropriately dressed for the event and the weather. This was one of those moments that I thought, wow, she really does understand fashion, but not just fashion in general. She really understands what works for her. So let's take a look at this moment. Meghan sends onlookers into a frenzy in this stylish Carolina Herrera cape coat. Now, we've talked about this cape coat a time or two. It is one of my favorite moments from her ever, and it's no surprise that this is one of my favorite style moments from 2023. I thought it was very unique. I thought it was very stylish. I love herringbone, and I thought the way she styled it, particularly with her outfit and for the setting, was perfect. Now, the Carolina Herrera cape coat is an oversized tweed herringbone cape with an adjustable grosgrain waist. Now, she paired this with the heels that were Manolo Blahnik, and they were the Campari polka dot mesh pumps. And then for her earrings, she wore the Tebeyer O'Hara gold earrings. I know that I'm not saying O'Hara right. I could not get that right. I tried. So that is the best attempt. And she paired this with her Cartier Love bracelet and Cartier tank watch. And for her pinky ring, she wore a Lorraine Schwartz emerald cut pinky ring. She wore this cape coat in attendance of the 805 Live charity fundraiser hosted by Kevin Costner. While there, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex presented the actor with an award for his support before a headlining set by Maroon 5. People are still talking about this cape coat. I know a lot of you went out and bought it because it sold out in like an hour from the moment these photos were published. It was gone. I mean, it was gone really fast. We've seen the Meghan effect in fashion. Every single time she wears something, it sells out. So we fully understand her impact. But there was something a little different about this Carolina Herrera coat. It was just so unique. It is such a staple for fall and winter fashion. She definitely set the trend, and I'm pretty sure Carolina Herrera were grateful. Now, we've talked about her tapping into Carolina Herrera a few times. They are one of her favorite brands, but this cape coat and the way that she wore it with the popped collar at the back and the way she tied the waist, all of it just looks so good. And the pullback hair, but also the kind of bauble earrings. It really did work for her. She looked fantastic. Also, being outside and outdoors and kind of at an outdoor event where you're going to be talking to people, you're going to be on stage, the wind's going to be blowing. It was genius of her to not only wear this coat so she wasn't adjusting her clothes the whole time, but also to pull her hair back. I also really appreciated that she did a darker makeup because she would be outside, and the event went on into the evening. This entire look looked fantastic, and I love the herringbone print. My favorite print is houndstooth, but a very close second is navy polka dots, navy stripes, and herringbone. This coat definitely inspired me to incorporate herringbone more into my looks. As for this next look, it's not exactly out of the box, but the reason I picked this look is because one, there was so much other stuff and so many other looks going on this week that this one completely got missed when we talked about fashion. And this was actually one of my favorite looks, not just from this event, but from Meghan, period. This is one of the best looks she's ever worn. Here's the thing. It's one thing to be able to wear a really out of the box look. It's one thing to be able to wear that and really make a statement. But where true style lies is when you can take a simple garment and really make it your own and really make it stand out. And I feel like this dress and this moment really stood out for me when it comes to Meghan's style this year or otherwise. She looked fantastic. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm talking about the gray totem dress that Meghan wore to the Team Canada reception at the Invictus Games. The totem dress at the Team Canada reception at the Invictus Games. This moment was very understated, but this is actually one of my favorite looks from Meghan because it highlights all of her best attributes. First of all, she has never been shy from a high neck or a halter, and it definitely was a little bit of a callback to her reception dress from her wedding. I thought it was very nice. Also, it was a bit of a callback to their 1 year to go meeting in Dusseldorf, Germany, 1 year prior to the Invictus Games. Remember, she wore that high neck halter beige with the matching belted pants, the wide leg pants. That whole look was really cute. And I thought this was kind of a callback to that. The entire look is really nice, but this dress was so well fitted. It is one of my favorite dresses. Also, you don't need a lot of shebang to make a statement. This was just such a perfect garment, and it was so well fitted that this is one of my favorite looks from her. I also love the way that she paired the jewelry, her hair, makeup, and her shoes. So the dress is the Totem turtleneck midi dress, and it's in gray. The shoes are the Dior Diorescence pumps in black. She wore Pippa Small kyanite stud earrings. And of course, she wore the Cartier Love bracelet and the Cartier Tank watch in yellow gold. And for her rings, she wore her gold wedding band, her diamond eternity ring, her Lorraine Schwartz pinky ring, and the chiffon 1972 tennis pinky rings. Now, again, this was at the Team Canada reception at the Hilton Hotel in Dusseldorf, Germany during the Invictus Games. I could go on and on about this look. I know that it's a bit simpler compared to the other looks that I've talked about, but it is such a perfectly worn dress. It was so perfectly fitted, and I thought this was such a great pick for the event. It was hot as hell in Dusseldorf. I don't know what I expected, but it was so hot. This dress was perfect because there were a number of times where I was like, I wish I had gone completely sleeveless as opposed to short sleeves. And this was perfect. It's also a very airy dress, so it allows a lot of aeration. So even though it is a bit form fitting, it's not tight. It's perfectly fit and it's aerated so that she could have breathing room and not get too hot. This whole outfit and the way that they looked as a pair was perfect. That is why this is my number 4 favorite look from the year. What did you think of this dress? Let me know. Again, this is one of my favorite looks. I thought they both look really nice and really coordinated. Now, what I will say is, although I know Prince Harry wore a monochromatic look at the closing ceremony, so he wouldn't have wanted to repeat that, I really would have loved to see him in a slate gray monochromatic look. That would have really served as a great compliment to this dress with Meghan. I like the white shirt, and of course, it's a reception, so it is a little bit more business casual and not exactly evening wear. But I really would have liked a slate gray monochromatic look, and I hope he serves that up soon. With his red hair and then also the way he can hang a suit, I think he can really pull off a nice slate gray. If he does pull that off, y'all know we will talk about it here. But back to this dress. I loved this dress. It showed off Meghan's shoulders. I thought it looked really great with the way she wore her hair. And because it was so simple and it was a midi dress, she was able to move around the room with comfort and it was aerated, like I mentioned in the segment. This was a really great moment, and I really loved this dress. It definitely took me back to her other halter moments, and we know that Meghan does halters really well. This dress was perfect. Totem did a great job of not only manufacturing a fantastic dress, but was in charge of her fitting. They did a wonderful job. So we have made it to my favorite look of 2023. And when I say favorite, I mean very creative look, out of the box look, but also just the look that really stood out to me. And this one comes in at number 1. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's when my two favorite worlds collide, the Sussexes and Beyonce. And it's Meghan's look at Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour in LA Night 1. We finally made it to my favorite look of 2023. So, while we take a look at this very short segment prior to me revealing my favorite look, go ahead and guess what do you think is my favorite number 1 look from 2023 from Meghan? Okay, usually, this is the moment where I ask people to like, subscribe, share, and comment. But since we are still conducting our fundraiser on behalf of Fisher House Foundation, I am asking that you please, if you're in the holiday spirit, take a moment to donate to the Fisher House Foundation. Fisher House benefits military service members, veterans, and their families in times of crisis. So please feel free to donate using the button below that says donate, or if you're in the live chat, use the heart with the giving hands. And since this is charity, YouTube will donate 100% of your donation to Fisher House. They do not take a percentage because it is charity.
Showing us the power in not defining people by assumption or their backstory or past pain, but rather instead on their ability, how they show up, and who they are in the press.
Family is about connection. And a big reason why we started the family program has now gone viral internationally and is impacting so many.
So Bedford was shot.
Where are we going to stay? Like, I can't afford Hawaii. Like, I'm a social worker. I'm like, what are we going to do? Everything was taken care of for us. We would go to Fisher House, walk to the hospital every day, walk back to Fisher House. I remember my first morning waking up, it smelled bacon and eggs and everything. And I go out and all these families, military families, make breakfast for you. Just knowing that you had a place to stay.
I am an advocate for the Fisher House.
So he spent 3 months in the VA hospital to stay at the Fisher House.
During the worst times of my life, the Fisher House was my home away from home.
I've stayed at 2 different Fisher houses. Nothing but good things to say about not only the house itself, but the staff.
I just want to say thank you so much to those of you who have already donated. Thank you so much to Fisher House Foundation for what you do for service members, veterans, and their families. And thanks to everyone who watches the channel and has really helped this fundraiser to take off. I really appreciate your generosity.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
So what do you think? What was my favorite look from 2023? This may come as a surprise, but it was so different and so unique for Meghan, and it was so fun to see this footage. It had no choice other than to be number one. And that was Meghan at Beyonce's Day 1 Renaissance Tour in Los Angeles. First of all, any link up between Beyonce and Meghan is going to be a win for me. And this was just her attending night 1. She actually attended night 2 as well, which was B Day. And she attended night 2 with Kelly Rowland and Kerry Washington. And she wore a different outfit. She actually wore a black halter with a silver skirt. She looked really great. And also Tyler Perry was there, and I think the CEO of Netflix. There were a lot of people in that little box. However, I am specifically talking about night 1. I loved the white and the silver. I just thought it was so cute. So she wore a white tank top, which is widely believed to be the Anine Bean Kylan top, but it has yet to be confirmed. And the silver sequin tube skirt is from it's SPRWMN, which I think is supposed to be Spring Women. I'm not sure. There are no vowels in that. And I could not find anything saying it out loud. So I'm just going to go with it. She paired this outfit with the Aquazura Celeste crystal embellished sandals. And again, this was night 1 of the Renaissance World Tour in Los Angeles. In addition to Meghan wearing a very cute in-theme outfit, Prince Harry also dressed in theme with a gray suit. Now, the theme of the Renaissance was silver, white, and black, and they all looked great. In addition to Harry and Meghan, we also saw Queen Doria Ragland, Meghan's mom, and Abigail Spencer, one of Meghan's best friends. And Abigail Spencer's disco dress was so cute. That was one of my favorite looks overall from any celebrity. Now, my favorite celebrity outfit from the Renaissance World Tour was actually Tracee Ellis Ross, which isn't a surprise. She always goes all out. And that could really only be rivaled by her mom, who performed on B-Day. But anyway, it's no surprise that this was my favorite outfit from 2023 from Meghan. But in addition to this really great look, we also got a really funny moment. First of all, she looked great in theme. She really did look great, and I love that skirt. First of all, how do you find a skirt that's so fun? It's great for the evening, great for a concert, but it is still long, so she was able to have fun, and she wasn't having to pull it down so often. We saw a wide array of really creative fashions throughout the Renaissance World Tour. The Renaissance World Tour is one of my favorite tours of all time. I would even say it's my favorite tour of all time. And you could really tell that Beyonce was having such a good time, but the environment that she curated, just the freedom of it all, the free to be you, have fun, let loose. You can tell that that resonated with both Meghan and Harry and Doria and Abigail Spencer. You can tell the 4 of them were having a really great time. Meghan had so much fun, she went back night 2. She went back for the actual B-Day concert, which is the concert to go to. So if Beyonce ever tours again, I'm definitely going to the B-Day concert. I don't care where it is. I'm flying there. I'm going to go because she had everybody there. But anyway, Meghan definitely stood out. Everybody was talking about her fabulous dance moves and how much fun she was having, you could tell that both of them were just living it up. Now, I know around this time there were a lot of weird headlines saying that Harry wasn't having a good time. And I'm like, did y'all not see all the videos of him dancing too? Like they were having a blast. But back to the fashion, Meghan really served a great look. I liked the white top and the silver skirt. I like that there was a little bit of change and a little color blocking because yes, all silver is cute, all black is cute. It's all really adorable, but I really like the break in the color because it can wash you out. Also, she and Harry were both coordinated. He had on a white shirt with a gray suit, and she had on a white top with a silver skirt. So they were both in theme. They both looked great, but I think this is one of the more fun looks I've seen from Meghan, and I really thought this look stood out for 2023. I also think it's a great indicator of how she managed her time this year, work and play. She definitely seemed to get back to herself. She's blazing her own trail. We read that article from Aaron Vanderhoof not too long ago about how Meghan has truly made this year her own. And I couldn't agree more. And I feel like this moment was one of those moments where we were reminded of that. So that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit short, but we went so long last night that I was like, we can't do a really long video today. They're gearing up for their New Year's Eve tomorrow. I can't be holding them all day and all night, but I thought this would be a really great fun way to end the year with our final Sussex style video. Now, like I said, this was my favorite creative looks for Meghan this year. I wanted to put a little fun spin on the countdown this time, but it doesn't mean my answers are right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's all subjective. So tell me, what are your top 5 creative looks for Meghan this year? And I know this, in 2024, we will have a lot more looks to pick from. So I am looking forward to more Sussex style videos in the new year. That is all I have for you today. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the channel, coming over and having a good time with me. It is so fun to gab and chit chat with you all, but it's even better to talk about fashion. If you haven't already, please don't forget to donate to Fisher House Foundation by using the donate button and the care button in your live chat, or feel free to like, subscribe, and share to support the channel in a way that is free. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.